There are both ethical and political reasons for wanting to address the growing gap between rich and poor. According to experts ranging from economists and political scientists to social workers and activists, the perception that a few people are getting rich at the expense of the rest of us is fueling a backlash, from the Occupy movement that began in 2011 to the austerity protests in Europe to the worker walkouts in support of a higher minimum wage last year in the US. So in this video, we are going to discuss why poor stay poor and rich get richer. Now, before we get into this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below saying I subscribed. I will try my best to reply to as many comments as possible. The rich here is that we do not have to worry about money. Day-to-day life is almost covered, can enjoy some or many luxuries in life, using leverage or wealth assets to generate more wealth. The poor is those that need to worry about money occasionally. If there is any disruption to income sources, life will fall into hardship. Using time and physical resources to earn a living. No extra money to enjoy luxury, and occasionally concern about having not enough money. The fear is that the world is developing what one expert calls a Downton Abbey economy, with a small wealthy class, the 1%, and a large class of poor workers. Meanwhile, the middle class is being squeezed with higher prices and stagnant wages, forcing many to go into personal debt to try to keep up. Opinion is divided over what has caused the change and even more controversy over what to do about. James Miles, a senior research fellow at the University of Toronto School of Public Policy and Governance, says there are economic costs to having people grow poor, including a lack of spending power to fuel the economy. Canadian inequality has not reached American peaks, but the real concern among people who've been studying this issue is about the long-term trend. That's what has people upset and concerned, Miles said in an interview with CBC's The Lang and O'Leary Exchange. There are also political costs, such as the growing disaffection seen in protest movements. Many people fear a plutocracy, in which government policy is dictated by the wealthy, Miles said. When the rich get richer, they get more powerful, and that puts them in the position to lobby for policies that make them richer still. Former Clinton advisor Larry Summers. Since 1980 or so, you also saw some economic growth, not as much as in the past, but most of those gains have been going to the top. In the middle and the bottom, income growth has been sluggish or stagnant, he added. Having a large, stable middle class is a sign of a wealthy country, says James Galbraith, author of Inequality and Instability, a study of the world economy just before the Great Crisis. The environment. Financial knowledge can be taught, but financial habits we inherited from our parents and people close to us. The rich will work for themselves, the poor will work for other people. The rich focus on opportunities, doing things that give value and rewards. The poor focus more on obstacles and risk. The rich make things happen, the poor wait for things to happen. The rich operates in abundance mode, while the poor operates in scarcity mode. Abundance. You give more because you are already in a better position, which in return attracts more returns, and the rich habit effect is passed on. Scarcity. You won't give unless you are enough, but there won't be more if you are not giving. Hence the cycle goes on from generation to generation. To counter this, it is crucial to have an environment that is supportive of financial success. We can join many clubs or associations to connect with like-minded people. The education. Our education system never taught about money in school. Hence, we lack the opportunity to have the financial knowledge to counter the bad money habits the poor copy from the parents or their environment. We are taught in schools to have hard skills to strive for in the modern world. But due to the environment, the poor tend to go to a better school that teaches better thinking skills, while the poor sometimes do not even manage to attend school. As basic life needs are taken care of, the rich will have the privilege to spend more time learning about finance. Hence, they are well equipped to make a sound financial decision that will give a better return in the long term. Whereas the poor, worrying day to day, do not have the resources to learn more about money and finance, as they will have to use their time earning income to cover for day-to-day expenses. This in return will make the poor make a short-term financial decision that will not be in favor of them. To counter this, we can start to learn some basics accountings, as it is one of the fundamentals of all things related to money. This includes personal money too. Facing the reality. When it comes to the subject of money, the rich talk about it. But the poor do not talk about it and sometimes even avoid it. If we want to solve a problem, the best and direct way is to talk about it. The rich talk about opportunities, talk about how to grow more money, etc., but the poor avoid talking about it. If we do not talk about it, how do we get input on how to better manage our money? Talk to your partner, spouse, and family on how to improve the money positions. The rich stay rich, the poor stays poor is because of environment, education, and facing the reality. If it is about the rich and poor, how about the middle ones? We come from a poor or lower income family before, but now in the middle position. Financial crisis heightened inequality. At the high end, it's a very small number of people who have been scoring very big. In the financial sector, the bankers, in the technology sector, in the energy sector, he said, those people seem not to be affected by the economic downturn that resulted from the 2008 bank failures and subprime mortgage crisis, although it was poor banking decisions that triggered the global meltdown. But ordinary people were very affected, losing their homes because of the dodgy mortgage business and having their jobs threatened. The mortgage debacle should never have happened, Galbraith said. At the bottom end, for a very large number of people, it's the collapse of economic security. It's the collapse of retirement security, of the value of their homes, of their job security, the decline in the services they rely on, public schools, healthcare, the amenities of life, he said. Protect the social safety net. Galbraith does not believe globalization is a big factor in growing inequality. He says people should turn their eyes close to home, demanding fair tax codes and a stronger social safety net. We have good systems. They need to be protected and expanded, not cut. It's under constant threat, he said. Larry Summers, who was Secretary of the Treasury under Bill Clinton and is now a Harvard professor, says he believes any solution has to be global. There's a concern that if you tax capital, capital will move out. That's why this has to be done in a spirit of global cooperation. He told CBC News, adding that there is a movement at the G8 and G20 to move toward more taxation of capital. He is critical of what he calls the continuing sway of old bad ideas, including the perception that somehow money trickles down to the poor. The idea that somehow it's taxes and high capital costs that are holding back investment. That seems to me to be an absurdity in the era of zero interest rates, he said. Who is going to pay? Summers said he believes that in the US, the constant push for tax cuts and the erosion of union bargaining rights has led to greater income inequality. In many countries, especially in the US, those with more money get one formal vote, but they're able to get more through the influence they have in campaign finance and in other ways. When the rich get richer, they get more powerful, and that puts them in the position to lobby for policies that make them richer, Summers said. Miles agrees, adding that governments understand how to improve equality through investment in income transfers and infrastructure such as health and education. The real trick is who will pay for those things, he said. We have lots of ideas of what to do about it dating back to the 1990s, Miles said. Some of them involve income redistribution. Many involve what's called social investment, early childhood education, job training for young adults, but no one wants to pay for it. Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more interesting videos. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.